Hey everyone, Corbie Mitleid, your no bullshit psychic. And first of all, I want to give you the most enormous thank you. You've made this girl feel very welcome on TikTok. It's been only a couple of days and already I've got 400 and something followers. That gets us so close to the live readings. So thank you. Keep it up. Tell your friends. As soon as I'm at 1,000, baby, we are going to do live readings and you will see what it is like to be read by somebody who's been doing this for half a century. Now, remember what I said about my little note, cards or no cards? This is one of those no bullshit moments. Now, I'm not saying anything about whether they're good or not, but you're going to see an awful lot of videos that said, I am a psychic and I don't use tarot cards and I don't use oracle cards. I have a direct line from spirit. Well, you know what? Cards and oracle cards are simply a tool. You do not look at a doctor and say, well, you read in your Grey's Anatomy what to look at for me. You should have just been able to figure it out that this is where I was having the pain and what did you have to do? Tools are tools, okay? I am a certified tarot master, which means I have passed more certifications than people have laundry. And it means that I know how to use the cards so that you understand better what I'm telling you. And it doesn't necessarily, I'm reaching for my cards. It doesn't necessarily mean that what I'm getting is not from spirit. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to remember what I read in a book, because that's what people who disparage cards think. Oh, well, they're only saying what they read in a book, and that can't possibly be right. Well, I want to show you this card. See, this is the Three of Pentacles. This is my favorite deck. It's Tarot Illuminati by Eric Dunn. But most of the time, the Three of Pentacles shows somebody working on a stained glass window in a church. And it has meanings like long-term projects and mastery and all of that. But when I was in Canada years back, I was reading for a couple. And I pulled that card. And what immediately was downloaded for me that I told them was, I'm not sure why I'm hearing this, but I understand that there is a deconsecrated or abandoned church somewhere in 2 or 3 miles from here, and you're supposed to open up a cafe bakery. Now, you would think, since that has absolutely no meaning for the card in any of the books you read, that I'd have to be talking out of my ass. No, the couple looked at each other and looked at me and nodded and said, oh yeah, we know which one you're talking about. We've been arguing about it for 2 years. So if anyone ever tries to tell you people who use tarot cards or oracle cards are cheating, they are absolutely wrong, okay? Because they are merely tools. And the longer we've been reading, the better we are at using those cards as merely a nuance, an open door, something that will allow spirit to come in and tell us what we need to know. All right? Secondary. See this? The Empress card? It doesn't always mean that it's a person. It doesn't always have the same meaning. You know, yeah, it could be that there's a woman who is what I call the benevolent despot, but she's also pregnant. She's also holding wheat. What is it that I'm going to concentrate on in that card? If spirit wants her to know about a pregnancy, I'll focus on the pregnancy. If it has something to do with diet, I'll probably focus on the wheat. Who knows? Maybe she's saying that this woman has to become a master at gluten-free cooking. I don't know. Spirit's going to tell me, and I'm going to listen to that. Now, again, I am going to remind you that even the best of us are only 85% accurate. Only 100% accurate is God. God is not doing TikTok readings this week. But you see, the longer you've been reading with the cards, the more likely it is that you're going to get the nuance. And the other thing is, when you're using an oracle deck, there aren't rules. In fact, I teach a course called Decadence, where you can pick up an oracle deck and read it within the first 30 seconds and be correct. All right? So, let's take a look at this one. This is from the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud and Jessa Macbeth. This is the RAR. The RAR is unfocused energy. But there are so many ways of explaining that to people. What I say, it's very much like 3 10-year-old kids running up and down the stairs in the Victorian house, screaming at the top of their lungs just because they can. So what does this mean? This may mean that you're not focusing. This could mean that there are more choices than you have the ability to grasp. There are all kinds of nuanced meanings in the card. If you say, well, I only get messages directly from Spirit, which makes me better, then you're being wiki-wooier than thou. I will never put down another reader, especially one I haven't had a reading with, unless I know they have done damage with their readings. You know, I told you about the family curse thing with the gypsy. Or if someone is a one-trick pony reader, and I'll save that for another TikTok. The only times that you shouldn't go to a reader is when they want to fleece you for money or they deliberately want to disempower you. Okay? So, I will never tell you don't go to another reader but me. Some readers may do that. I won't. They'll have a different nuance. They'll have a different focus. They'll have different experiences. And every single reader, I don't care whether it's trance or whatever, we are affected by the life we've had. So yes, their take on it might be different than mine. There were always clients when I read in Canada who would go to several of us, and I know that there were at least 3 that would go to me, and they would go to another reader who was literally across the ballroom. I think her name was Judy Abbott. And invariably, Judy and I would tell the person the same thing, but with a different twist, with a different look, because she had experiences that I didn't, and I had experiences that she didn't. Okay? So that's another thing. If any reader says you should only go to me, forget it. That's a warning sign, because we are not the be-all and end-all. Yeah, I'm good, and I know I'm good, but I'm not perfect. I'm not infallible, and I may not have the specific tilt, excuse me, that will work best for you. So anyway, to round back to what we were talking about from the beginning, if any psychic says people who use cards or crystals or whatever, they're not as good as I am because I get it directly from Spirit, kids, that's their ego talking. That is not necessarily true, and it's not necessarily professional. You don't put down another psychic, by name especially, unless you know that they are doing personal, dangerous damage to their clients. Okay? And I will, in probably one of the 2 next TikToks I do, give you examples about when to run away from a psychic because, yeah, they're not safe. But anyway, back to what we talked about. What I'm telling you is cards are good tools. And my use of cards doesn't mean that I am less professional, less tuned into Spirit, less wiki-woo than somebody else. Okay? So, see you again today, tomorrow, who knows. But I will always give you the straight dope. I will never give you bullshit because I am the no bullshit psychic.